welcome. You're watching 6 Stories at 6 with me, Akanksha Khajuri, and this evening we have a power-packed lineup for you, from consumers feeling the pinch to a global spiritual announcement and a terrifying mid-air scare. We'll tell you all about that. But first up, it's the auto industry versus the common man. Cab fares are rising and commuters are feeling the pinch. We'll go live to our reporters on the ground with the aggrieved voices, and also this evening, dramatic visuals emerge of a Boeing 787 drop. You must watch that video, and an aviation expert will join us on this broadcast to talk about whether passenger safety is being compromised all across the world. In Calcutta, in West Bengal, the family of a gang rape survivor speaks exclusively to Republic TV, and we have the statement coming from the accused lawyer as well. Back in Uttar Pradesh, in fact, ST Hassan of the Samajwadi Party stands by his controversial Kawad Yatra terror remark. In a face-off with Republic TV, he refuses to apologize or, in fact, say anything about the statement. And in Tamil Nadu, a custodial death shakes up the state. The case has been handed over to the Central Bureau of Investigation. Our reporter brings us the latest on that. And finally, the Dalai Lama lays out the succession plan, and we'll tell you about these 6 stories. Let's get started. In fact, commuting in India has become a costly affair. Cab prices are all set to go up now, as the Road Transport Ministry has allowed the cab aggregators to charge up to twice the base fare during the peak traffic hours, adding to an already burdensome travel bill. Now, rail fares remain already high. Air tickets, as you know, continue to surge. And now the app-based cab aggregators such as Ola and Uber are also getting costlier for the people. Surge pricing, fuel charge and the platform fee are driving up the cab fares. But for the common commuter, this is a worry. There is no cheap escape. Be it train, be it car or the flight, all the routes are leading to one destination, and that is expense. In fact, let me go across to my colleague Gopi, who joins us live on the broadcast with more details. Gopi, this is a double whammy for the people of the national capital, especially because on one hand, cab fares are going to rise, and on the another side, we are seeing that there's a crackdown on the petrol and the diesel cars there. They are being scrapped. Tell us, because you've been speaking to a lot of people since morning, what are they telling you?
Well, in fact, Akanksha, we have been speaking to many people who are coming to the petrol pump, different petrol pumps of Delhi. They have, in fact, stated this fact that previously it was 20 years, why it has been reduced to 15 years all of a sudden. While also what they have been reiterating is that it is only going to benefit the automobile industry as well as the GST collection, which has been done, which is being done by the government. So it is going to benefit the automobile industry at large, but it is in fact going to, the middle class is the one which is going to suffer the most, as car for a few of them is a luxury, and if this happens after 15 years, if they have to scrap their own vehicle, it becomes difficult for the middle class to sustain. As you've correctly pointed out that Ola and Uber, the cab services, have also increased their price during the peak hours as well as during the times when when there is excessive rain in the city. So this is also going to impact the middle class at large. Back to you.
Absolutely. And Gopi, several of you, in fact, a lot of my colleagues have been speaking to people on the ground, and they're very aggrieved by this. Listen into what they said.
In my opinion, this would be very taxing on people of the middle class, especially people like us who are students, because we go for these options because of their availability and affordability. And if you are putting a surge on that, I don't think people would be going to such aggregators anymore.
Price means अगर फैमिली के साथ आऊँगा तो मुझे वो पोस्ट होना पड़ेगा वो 2x देने के लिए. अगर अकेला हूँ तो कोई बात नहीं, मैं पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट यूज़ कर दूँगा. लेकिन अगर फैमिली के साथ आ रहा हूँ तो it will be a heavy loss to my pocket.
Surge pricing is, sometimes becomes really unreasonable. So I think that's not such a good idea, especially when somebody is coming in a public service place like an airport. So I think airports and railway stations, it seems very unfair that you put a surge pricing.
भाई बहुत बड़ा नुकसान है यार. अब तो लग रहा है कि ओला बेच के रिक्शा चलाना पड़ेगा.
क्यों ऐसा क्यों लग रहा है?
भाई फेयर ही नहीं है, ना फेयर है ना काम है, कुछ भी नहीं है, और कमीशन इतने ले रहा है ओला बेहिसाब. बेकार है भाई. जब तो
कितना पर राइड कितना कमीशन?
भाई 10% ले रहा है भाई साहब. 10% ले रहा राइट में।
एक तो मुंबई में ऐसा कंडीशन हुआ है कि इतना ट्रैफिक जाम हो जाता है और इतना पैसा, जो इनकम सोर्स कम है और खर्चा ज़्यादा है, उसमें से भी ओला उबेर जो भी हो वो अगर अपनी मनमानी करेंगे या जो भी प्राइवेट व्हीकल हो वो मनमानी करेंगे तो पब्लिक जाएगा कैसे?
बहुत ज़्यादा दबाव है क्योंकि हमारे पास कोई ऑप्शन नहीं रहता है। सरकारी तंत्र ठीक से चलती नहीं है तो हमको वहीं पे जाना पड़ता है, प्राइवेट में ही जाना पड़ता है। और प्राइवेट में भी प्राइवेट व्हीकल मैनेजमेंट, जो ओला उबेर क्या क्या नाम लेने का बहुत सारे लोग आ गए, उनको हम अगर मैनेज करने जाएंगे, उनको अगर ये करने जाएंगे तो वो अपने मनमानी से, चाहे वो बीमार हो, बूढ़ा हो, औरत हो, कोई हो, वो अपने हिसाब से दाम लेता है।
I think it's burden on the middle class basically. The government should come with some other kind of option wherein there should be some relief to middle class families.
Now let's get you more details. For the common commuter, there's nowhere left to go. Cab rides are burning the holes in the pockets of the people. Railway fares remain completely high. And if you're thinking of flying, think again, because now it's just not about the cost, it's about safety as well. On board a Japan airline is what we're learning that was heading towards from China to Tokyo. In fact, panic unfolded mid-air. A massive pressure drop. The aircraft plunged 26,000 feet down. The aircraft encountered a mid-air mechanical issue, what we're learning, that triggered a rapid descent from approximately 36,000 feet to just under 10,000 feet in just few minutes. Now there was utter panic on the flight. Oxygen masks were deployed. Passengers feared that the plane was going to crash. Some passengers, is what we're learning, is they struggled to breathe, while others started writing down their wills and sending message to their loved ones with personal details like bank pins and insurance information, etc. Now the probe has been launched in this case, and this raises a lot of questions on the Boeing once again. Remember, there was a crash just last month in India. Hundreds of people lost their life, and once again we are seeing another Boeing aircraft where there is a mid-air scare. Not just that, it plunged from 36,000 feet down to 10,000 feet. By 26,000 feet, there was a massive drop, is what we are learning. Let me go across to our guest, Amit Singh, who's the aviation expert. Thank you so much for speaking to Republic TV. How do you see this entire incident? Because we are learning that this Boeing 787, it dropped to by 26,000 feet. What do you think could have led to this?
This is a pressurization failure in all probability. So the aircraft is pressurized. It is like a can, which is pressurized to keep the oxygen pressure for sustaining life at altitudes, because at high altitudes the pressure is low, so the body needs oxygen at a certain pressure. So when there's a leak or there's a mechanical failure in maintaining that pressure, there's a sudden drop in pressure. So to equalize or to for safety, the pilot has to come down rapidly to 10,000 feet. So that is the reference level at which you can breathe without supplemental oxygen. So in about 4 to 5 minutes, the plane descends at a very high rate to come down to that level, so that passengers, and more than passengers, the flight crew are able to breathe without supplemental oxygen, because that oxygen also has a limit, about 13 minutes, 22 minutes, depending on the type of oxygen. So we have seen a number of cases in the past, but it is not that often that this pressurization happens. Last year, Alaska Air, Boeing 737 had an issue with pressurization where the door blew off. So that was a unique case. But this one, we'll have to find out what was the exact cause.
Absolutely. Very concerning visuals there, sir, coming to the fore of people. In fact, they're in panic. There's utter chaos on that flight. Thanks so much for your perspective on this story. But definitely, Boeing remains under the scanner. Now let's tell you about the West Bengal Law College gang rape case that has triggered nationwide outrage. The father of the survivor has spoken to Republic TV. He has broken his silence. He has demanded that all those responsible for this crime should be held accountable. Listen into what he said, and then we also have the reaction of the lawyer of the accused and the prime accused, Monojit Mishra. Have a look.
देखिए, मैं सिर्फ उसका एडवोकेट ही नहीं हूँ, मैं उसका सीनियर भी हूँ। वो मेरे चेंबर में, हमारा जो एयर एसोसिएट है, वहाँ पे 2021-22 और 23 साल, मतलब 3 साल हमारे यहाँ पे काम भी किया है। एज ए जूनियर ट्रेनिंग में था, तब इंटर्नशिप कर रहा था। और कल जब हमको जब ये पता चला तब 27 तारीख था जब मुझे पता चला कि उन्होंने अरेस्ट हुआ एक मामले में और उसको कस्टडी लिया गया 4 दिन का। तब हम लोग सब आ गए। हम लोग उड़ीसा में थे, हमारा पूरा टीम। तो हम वहाँ से आ गए और हम यहाँ पे अपेयर हुए। अपेयर होने से पहले मैं मुलाकात किया मनोजित से। मैं मनोजित को जाके बोला क्या घटना घटा है बेटा कि तेरे ऊपर इतना एलिगेशन आया। तो उन्होंने वो बोलने लगा दादा मैंने क्या किया, मुझे सब विलेन बना रहा है, क्यों बना रहा है, मैंने क्या किया। मैंने बोला तेरे शरीर में तो बहुत सारा नाखून का दाग आ गया है, सब बोल रहा है, फॉरेंसिक रिपोर्ट में गया। तब उन्होंने साठ उतर दिया, बोला कि दादा देखो कहीं पे है। फिर मुझे दिखाई दिया है पे एक दाग है। मैंने बोला ये क्या है, तो बोला दादा ये लाभ बाइट है। जब मैंने पूछ लगा किसका है तब तक पुलिस वाले ने उसको लेके चला गया। हाँ मैंने ये बात भी बोला है और एक बात मैंने कोर्ट को बोला है, वो ऑर्डर शीट भी बना है। मैंने बोला है कि उस दिन का जो मोबाइल फ़ोन है ये फ़ोन सिर्फ सस्पेक्ट लोग का, जो तीनों सस्पेक्ट है उनका जब्त किया गया है। लेकिन मैंने बोला जो डिफेक्टो कॉम्प्लेन है, मतलब कि रेस्पेक्टेड जो विक्टिम लेडी है उसका फ़ोन भी जब्त किया जाए, फॉरेंसिक में भेजा जाए। और उसका जो
একটা ঘটনা ঘটে সাউথ ক্যালকাটা ল কলেজে এবং সেই ঘটনা এখন গোটা রাজ্যে ছড়িয়ে পড়েছে, গোটা রাজ্য উত্তাল। সেক্ষেত্রে সামনে আসে যে আপনাদের যিনি আইনজীবী ছিলেন অরিন্দম কাঞ্জিলাল, তিনি দাবি করেছিলেন যারা গ্রেপ্তার হয়েছেন তার মধ্যে মনোজিৎ কোনোভাবেই মূল অভিযুক্ত নয় বলে তিনি মনে করছেন। কি বলবেন, কারণ আপনি তো নির্যাতিতার বাবা।
আমার বলার আছে অরিন্দম কাঞ্জিলাল আমার লয়ার নয়, আমি যাকে অ্যাপয়েন্টেড করেছি উনি হাইকোর্টের লয়ার মিস্টার অরিন্দম জানা। আর দ্বিতীয়ত এই যে ন্যাক্কারজনক ঘটনা ঘটিয়েছে তার আমি সর্বোচ্চ শাস্তি চাই।
Let's now take you to the state of Uttar Pradesh. Samajwadi Party leader S.T. Hassan has quoted a major controversy there, comparing the religious profiling of vendors along the Kawad Yatra route to what the terrorists did in Pahalgam, and several people lost their life. Now in a statement he said, and I quote, asking local vendors to reveal their names and forcing them to undress to identify their religion is no different from what happened in Pahalgam and what terrorists did there. This too is a form of terrorism, and this is what S.T. Hassan said, and this comment has sparked a massive outrage with the Bharatiya Janata Party hitting out at him. In fact, Republic TV confronted him, but he stood his ground, defensive and unapologetic. Listen into what he said.
आप मुझे ये बताइए कि भक्तों की तुलना आपने पाकिस्तान के आतंकवादियों से क्यों की?
आप ये बताइए आतंकवाद की डेफिनेशन क्या है?
आतंकवाद की डेफिनेशन मैं आपको बता रहा हूं, सीधी बात बता रहा हूं। सुनिए, जो कलमा टेस्ट हुआ ना, कलमा पढ़िए। और आपने कावड़ियों को आतंकवादी बताया है, जिन लोगों ने बंदूक से सिर खोल दिए। मैं तस्वीर दिखाऊं आपको पहलगाम की? नहीं देखी है क्योंकि आपके पास कोई वीडियो नहीं है। आप हवा में बातें कर रहे हैं,
हिंदुओं की
हवा में बातें कर रहे हैं आप। हवा में
नहीं था वो।
आपके पास वीडियो है? वो वीडियो है।
वो कांवड़िया नहीं था जो ये काम कर रहा था।
यशवीर महाराज ने दुकानों पर जाकर पूछा क्या वो आतंकवादी हैं? क्या यशवीर महाराज आतंकवादी हैं? बताइए, बोलिए।
जो जिन्होंने पैंटें उतरवाई,
किसने उतरवाई? बताइए मुझे। लोगों को आप एक्सपोज हो गए। मैं पूरी समाजवादी पार्टी को, आप फोन लगा लीजिए ना।
उन्होंने भी तो पैंटें उतरवाई थी।
सबूत दीजिए, आप मुझे सबूत दीजिए। मैं आपको फिर कह रहा हूं, अगर आज आप सबूत नहीं दे पाएंगे तो आप समझिए कि आप एक्सपोज हो चुके हैं नेशनल टेलीविजन पर, क्योंकि मैं यहाँ पर खड़ा हुआ मोबाइल लेकर। मैं आपसे कह रहा हूं, आप मुझे सबूत दीजिए।
कर रहे हो, जो लोगों को टेरराइज कर रहे हैं, जो इलीगल काम कर रहे हैं, आप उससे सपोर्ट कर रहे हो, आप एक्सपोज हो रहे हो।
मैं सपोर्ट कर रहा हूं कावड़ियों को। बताइए, मैं सपोर्ट कर रहा हूं। जो धोखा देंगे उनके साथ टेस्ट होना चाहिए। जो धोखा दे रहे हैं उनके साथ सख्ती होनी चाहिए। ये तो एसटी हसन साहब आपने कह दिया, और आप वीडियो बता नहीं पा रहे हैं मुझे आरोप लगाकर। आतंकवादी कैसे होगा कावड़िए, बताइए।
आप वीडियो पे क्यों अटक गए?
अच्छा,
पहलगाम
चलिए वीडियो पे नहीं अटकते हैं। आप अगर बयानबाजी से अपनी दुकान नहीं चला रहे हैं तो आपने एफआईआर दर्ज कराई नहीं ना? किसी और का उठा के आप लूटना चाहते हैं और भारत के नागरिकों को आतंकवादी कह रहे हैं। आप ऐसे राजनीति करेंगे? आप
इतने सिंपैथेटिक क्यों हो गए?
मैं सिंपैथेटिक बिल्कुल नहीं हो रहा हूं। मैं देखिए, रिपब्लिक पूछता है, रिपब्लिक भारत ये पूछता है कि हमें आप ये बताइए कि आपने आतंकवादी कैसे कहा?
आतंकवादी जैसे हैं क्योंकि वो टेरराइज कर रहे हैं, लोगों को धमका रहे हैं, पैंट उतरवा रहे हैं। गरीब आदमी पैंट उतार के दिखा रहा है, वो उनके भगवानों में झांक के देख रहे हैं कि क्या पकाया है।
एसटी हसन साहब,
वो कौन होते हैं?
अगर मैं आपसे एक और बात कह रहा हूं, एक बात बताइए, रोजे में कौन कहां खाएगा ये आपकी जिम्मेदारी होती है, आपकी मर्जी होती है। कावड़ यात्रा में अगर मुझे शुद्ध खाना है, किसी कावड़िए को खाना है, तो वो खाएगा ना भाई, वो चेक करेगा ना, क्या उसका अधिकार नहीं है? क्या उसे संविधान अधिकार नहीं देता है?
नाम लिखने में मुझे कोई एतराज नहीं है, और नाम लिखा होना चाहिए, मुझे कोई एतराज नहीं है। और रोजे में हम मुसलमान हिंदू भाइयों के यहाँ से ही मिठाई लेते हैं,
तो वही तो वो कह रहे हैं कि आप झूठ का साथ दे रहे हैं। जो लोग धोखा दे रहे हैं, जो लोग धोखा दे रहे हैं, जिन लोगों ने वकील टी स्टॉल नाम रख रखा है और पर्दे के पीछे से सुलेमान और फिरोज निकल रहे हैं, एसटी हसन साहब, ये दिक्कत है।
गलत है वो बात आपकी, मैं मानता हूँ वो गलत है।
तो वो गलत है, तो फिर आप आतंकवादी क्यों बता रहे हैं? फिर आप आतंकवादी क्यों बता रहे हैं एसटी हसन साहब?
आतंकवादी क्यों बता रहे हैं? आपकी सुई यहाँ पे क्यों अटक गई?
अगर गलत है तो आतंकवादियों के साथ कंपेयर। मैं आपको घड़ी के हिसाब से 30 सेकंड दे रहा हूँ, 30 सेकंड दे रहा हूँ। कावड़ियों को आतंकवादी क्यों कहा? कावड़ियों को आतंकवादी क्यों कहा? कावड़ियों को आतंकवादी क्यों कहा?
आप क्यों कह रहे खुल के?
कावड़ियों को आतंकवादी क्यों कहा एसटी हसन साहब? नहीं, इधर उधर की बात नहीं, मुझे बताइए कावड़ियों को आतंकवादी क्यों कहा?
अब मैं दूसरे लोगों से बात कर लूं, ठीक है।
Let's now take you to the state of Tamil Nadu. What started as an allegation of jewelry theft has put the entire state of Tamil Nadu in complete turmoil. A 27-year-old temple guard, Ajit Kumar, died in the police custody last week, and after the violent video emerged, and we showed you that video of him being beaten and dragged by the police officer, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin announced that the death case will now be transferred to the Central Bureau of Investigation. Bharatiya Janata Party and AIADMK says that this is not enough and this is coming in too late. And today we saw massive protests that erupted in the state over the death of Ajit Kumar. Let me go across to my colleague Sarda, who joins us with more on this. Sarda, even though this case has been transferred to the Central Bureau of Investigation, tell us about the probe in this case, because this is about the police officers only. 5 of them have been arrested so far. Take us through the details of the investigation.
Well, the initial probe started on Monday after the AIADMK pointed out that the DMK has been silent over this custodial debt, and then the DMK's leader and the current the Chief Minister M.K. Stalin had a meeting with the higher officials, and of the 6 police officials, 5 were arrested, and the current SP Ashish Rawat, who is in relation to the case, is kept on a continuous wait. However, later yesterday, the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court questioned why the SP still has not been suspended and why he is kept on a continuous wait, and that then immediate action should be taken. And that's when from the police the case was moved on to CBCID. Later, when again the press questioned MK Stalin yesterday while he launched his campaign for the 2026 elections, he then agreed that immediate actions were taken. However, as it was not satisfactory, he said he'll move it to CBI, and that's what has happened today. And supporting his statement, his ally party leader, the BCK and MP Thirumavelan said that it was Stalin's brave move to move it to CBI and make sure that even if the last 24 cases were not justifiable, they'll make sure that this 25th custodial death that has happened in the last 4 years under Stalin's regime would somehow make sure that will cause a prevention more than it continuing, is what the DMK is now telling. However, the BJP and AIADMK call it as a cover for DMK just before the election. With just 10 months left, we can see how DMK is trying to make sure that this particular case did not blow up their cover of being a proper party that's been running in the last 4 years. So the massive protest that today happened was the first coexisting ally party of the AIADMK BJP, and being the first protest that they held together with the upcoming elections, it seems to be a big blow for DMK as justice for Ajit Kumar continues to stay on the top of headlines for Tamil Nadu.
Well, absolutely. There in the visuals as well, we can see massive protests there on the streets of Tamil Nadu. BJP saying that this is not a case of custodial torture, but this is a case of custodial murder. Thank you so much, Sarda, for all the details. We'll keep coming back to you for more on this. Now, shifting our focus, at 90 years old, Dalai Lama has made a significant announcement about his succession. He has confirmed that the institution of Dalai Lama will continue after him and that his successor will be identified according to the traditional Buddhist practices. Now, entrusting Interestingly, he's also said that the next Dalai Lama could be a girl and may be born outside China. China, however, has strongly reacted to this, and they have maintained that any successor must first be approved by China. Have a look at this report.
Ahead of his 90th birthday on July 6th, Dalai Lama has made a big statement over his succession and blocked China from calling the shots. Issuing a detailed statement, Dalai Lama made it clear that the institution of Dalai Lama will continue. He has claimed that the process by which a future Dalai Lama is to be recognized has been clearly established. They will consult the various heads of the Tibetan Buddhist traditions. He has reiterated in his statement that the Gaden Podrang Trust has sole authority to recognize his future reincarnation. Acharya Yeshi Punsok, the former deputy speaker of the Tibetan parliament in exile, has spoken exclusively to Republic about the process of reincarnation of the next Dalai Lama.
Yet not release any statements by the His Holiness Dalai Lama, but His Holiness has several times mentioned after the devolutions of the His Holiness power in 2011, political power, now the Tibetan freedom movement and the Tibetan structures is running by under the elected leader. So therefore His Holiness at that time also mentioned the Gandhin Potang, which is the institutions of the His Holiness Dalai Lama, that will be remain, and then the future, if circumstances will be happening in exile, then the next Dalai Lama will be the only have a power to recognize by the Gandhin Potang institution. Besides that, no one have rights and interfere the recognitions of the His Holiness Dalai Lama in traditionally or in near future also.
He has made it clear that China will not be given any opportunity to interfere in this process. Currently, celebrations are underway to mark the 90th birthday of the Dalai Lama.